Oh, yeah. So, once again, hello to everybody. And I hope, things are okay. And so once again, I'm here to share a few things and what's happening here, and a little bit with the Dharma things that I've been doing last few times. So the six abbots of Sarah Gandhini Debon, because there are six abbots. Each monastery has two abbots. So tonight, the first time we are going to have meeting with using Zoom, which I'm looking forward. Why I'm looking forward? Because I am pretty much sure, 100% sure. Now, although we arranged to meet at 8, but it's not going to happen until 9. Because many of us, that is, now I'm not using Zoom, I'm just Peter, and they just invite me and click, that's it. Otherwise, I don't have any knowledge. And I think that my colleagues are also saying, only one abbot who he was given a Zoom platform by one of his students, I think from Taiwan, and it sounds very good, huge, powerful one. He said he can, 100 people can join, so it sounds quite big one. So we are going to use his platform. So he will invite us. And yesterday evening, me and another abbot, we sort of prepare for that. It was okay, but not really very much straightforward. Using computer Zoom and ranking, and anyway, that was, so we are going to do. But our main topic will be, because annually we have this exam, Giluk exam, all those advanced students in Sarah Gandhin Devon, Tashnam Borada, and other, who are now approaching to take Geshe's degree. In the last 6 years, they have to do this last exams for 6, So usually that happens in August, around August, during the raining retreat season. So now we have to prepare, we have to think whether we are able to do that or not, whether we need to postpone or not, and all sorts of things. So I'm preparing for long evening. So that is one thing. And another thing which I want to share with you, it is a little bit of black humor, you may say in UK or in Europe, in the West, but it is quite common black humor, particularly in the monastery community. And I've been thinking about this. Why we have lots of black humor, not very nice humor, but lots of black humor. A little bit. There's a laughter at the end, but the humor itself is a little bit, tricky. And I thought it might to do some kind of, the survival mechanism in this male, sort of community, and a big male community, and all those things. And so one thing which I remember when I was a relatively young, naughty boy in the monastery, we have to go through different stages, and when you reach a certain class, your job will be offering the teas, from bringing the main kitchen to the where the monks are. So one day I was, me and one of my several friends who were in that role, and they offered the tea for each monk, maybe those days not many as thousands, maybe 700 to 800 monks. And then we come back, and instead of going straight away to the kitchen, what we did is we stay outside, and the monks, all the flip-flops, all the flip-flops are outside the monastery gate, where the monks go to the main temple. So what we did, put all my flip-flop, one of mine, and bring the other, whoever they bring, then put in very different, all mixed, and then we run to the kitchen and put the teapot in the kitchen. Then we look from somewhere in the corner, then looking at when what gather was finished, and all the monks are really so we were watching and laughing, and of course we get trouble in the after. They to find out that we did it anyway. That's sort of very black humor. So today I heard a very strange black humor that is to do with the coronavirus. And one of my colleagues, Abbots, who is very good to collect many different informations, and today he collected nice information that comes from Bhutan. It seems there is quite a good comedian in Bhutan, and they perform in Bhutanese television or whatever. And this comedian is performing relating to the coronavirus, and he gave a title to the coronavirus saying, you are bodhisattvas, and because you are bodhisattvas, because you make us do all these amazing things normally we don't do. And going through list of things and saying you really remind the entire world the reality of the world is impermanent, and you show the entire world that we are closely interconnected, interdependent, and you show all the worlds and life is very fragile and not strong as we thought. And he goes through many different stages. And at the end, he said, and now you should leave this world. And, maybe you can come back in another 100 years' time if we were behaving very badly, to remind us all these important points once again. And that was the humor. And I thought it's quite interesting, to look at the virus in a very interesting perspective. And it is true, it is true. So the virus gave me the opportunity to share these things with my friends. Normally, I pretend, or I feel, or I think, or I believe I'm very busy. I can't do these things, blah, blah, blah. And now, on the one, in certain extent, it is true. I'm stuck in this, up here. So I got this opportunity to share. So that is something which I found very interesting. Humor. I don't know whether it's black humor or white humor, but I thought it's black humor, but it's a nice one. Okay, so that is to do with the current issue. And now, today I thought I will do slightly different from the, last, since we started doing this, once every 2 days. So, because up to now, I selected different quotations from different books and different, scholars or practitioners and so on and so forth. So from today, I will do slightly different, because from today, next few times, we will follow closely to the Buddhist practice. And that's what I thought is quite good to do that. And why I thought it's good to do that, because sometimes when you select bit here, bit there, then you don't, although individual quotation, individual statements might be very inspiring, very helpful, but you don't know where to hold and where to move on. And although I've been suggesting, every now and then, to start with the right in the morning, to spend some time, to set your intention, and so on and so forth. That is the main theme. And also keep saying, participate, supporting others, no matter how small, and also, follow the advice, instruction to keep oneself safe. So those are some general frame, but not very much, very. But so from today, I will read one. This is very nice book, which which is the Gavin Kilty translated, the English translator, collection of Lama Tsongkapa, Je Tsongkhapa's, mainly here as it's put, devotional verses of Tsongkhapa. As you know, this great master, the 14th century great master, who wrote more than 18 volumes of texts. And most of these texts are very, very profound philosophical and profound practice texts. And there are many also small writings, more have very nicely, very poetically, and written to his friends, his teachers, or to his inspirational deities, and so on and so forth. And this is in this book there's a collection of that. And our today reading will be in English. It says, "The essence of the human life, words of advice for the lay practitioner." So this is, and it is related to Tara, and it's quite nice. It's not that long. It's just less than. It starts from page 209, and it finishes page 215. So not that long, and it captures quite nicely to do practice, particularly from the Buddhist point of view, and that's what I thought, good to read that. And it is also, I'm going to read this because in this text you will see later, Je Tsongkhapa first, he paid homage to Tara, the goddess, female, the deity Tara. And in that, I thought I will read in Tibetan 21 Tara, praises to 21 Tara in Tibetan. Some of you haven't heard before, and many of you people who participated my blah blah for many years, almost you may have fed up with it because almost every time when we finish a gathering, instead of doing mandala offering or all those blah blah, I say, okay, together we'll say 21 Tara prayers, and that's what I did all those years, and many of you know this. And but in case also sometimes it is good to although here today I'm going to read, and the people who are going to watch, you may have the prayer 21 Tara prayers in your possessions, or in your, I usually call, collection of the dust collectors, and somewhere there you can bring that down and clean the dust and look at once again and to read. So that is here. So anyway, It will take maybe 2-3 hour gatherings. I will not extend my what you call the time duration not longer than 40 minutes because too long is not inspiring. So I will not do that. Okay. So now, it is very nicely put it because there's a Tibetan on the one page, this page. This is the Tibetan and there's the translation. So it's very nice to me to read that. So in this case, I'm going to read only the Tibetan, only English, because there's no much point to read the Tibetan. But the praises to 21 Taras, I read in Tibetan. Okay. So I'll read. It is in a verse, the fashion, because most of the these poem or poetry writings are in a verse version. I think it might be the same in English. It gets some kind of rhythm, that. So it is written in a verse version. So and Gavin tried to follow that kind of structure. So Je Tsongkhapa's the first line, homage to my guru, the youthful Manjushri. It is quite often Je Tsongkhapa when he writes, the short or long text, pay homage to Manjushri, treat as his guru, or like that. So this is the first line, which don't need that much explanation. Now the main verse starts this. To those within her refuge, every happiness and joy, for those beset by suffering, every assistance. Noble Tara, I bow before you. So that is the first verse. That's the first verse. Je Tsongkhapa is paying homage to Tara, this female goddess, the deity Tara. So first, say a little bit about the Tara. What is Tara? Who is Tara? And so forth. And of course, there are many explanations, and like what's called, a little bit like nice, inspiring stories and so forth. But not going in that part of the explanation. What is Tara? It is what I'm going to do. To explain what is Tara, I'm going to explain more, looking at some of the what you call the profound explanations, about our inner, what you call the seeds or the potentials, and these inner seeds or the potentials, when they fully manifested, when they are fully, nurtured or come into full action, then, there are also different manifestations or different, different manifestations are explained in mainly from the Vajrayana teachings, Buddhist Vajrayana teachings. And also there are some explanation in the Buddhist Sutrayana too. So in other words, quite often when we are fully awakened, when ourselves, or when our, the minds, the mental states are fully enlightened in the sense, fully enlightened, fully awakened in the sense, all the good qualities like love, compassion, altruism are, fully developed. wisdom, these are fully developed. On the other hand, all those obstacles, all those, the what you call the obstacles or the distorted mental states, either emotional or the views, when they are completely removed, or when they are completely purified from our mind stream, and that is what we are talking about here, fully awakened, fully enlightened in that. So now then in the Vajrayana, the teachings, explain a little bit short, not any detail, then what the fully awakened beings can have those four qualities. And the four qualities, the qualities from the body, qualities from the speech, qualities from the mind, and the qualities of activities. Tinle, Sandiki, Tinle. Tinle is quite often translated activities. Activities in the sense to, when the full awakened beings are, reach out to do the things for the living beings, and in that sense. So this what you call the deity, Tara. Of course, many different aspects, many different colors, many different, what you call the gestures, and so on and so forth. But today we are talking about just Tara. Is out of the four qualities, that is the qualities of the activities. So, in other words, you and me, we all have the seeds of the potentials of the Buddha's quality of body, speech, mind, and the activities. And when the qualities of the activities are fully activated or fully cultivated, developed, then that aspect is called Tara. So that is just very brief. I mean, there are different explanations, but I want to stick with that, not going that much detail. So those fully awakened beings, outside there, I don't know where they are, but don't ask me. But I'm sure they are there. So all those fully awakened beings, they individually or collectively, that fourth quality, the quality of the activities, manifest into this, particular name called Tara, in Sanskrit, in Tibetan Dolma, liberators, in English, quite often translated, liberators, which is, so that is what here. So, so Je Tsongkhapa pay homage to that deity, Tara. And it is nicely put, isn't it? Saying that, those who, to those within her refuge. In other words, having that kind of qualities of the activities. When the happiness, joys need to be experienced, and when the sufferings or the pain or difficulties need to be removed, removed, and give assistance. And that is what the qualities of the activities, that we all have the potential, and when that potential is what you call the enhanced, that will do those actions, those things. And he said, I bow before you. And it is very nice. It is very nice to have that kind of, the imagery, that kind of, the sort of vision or the visualization in front of us, that all the enlightened beings. Not necessarily need to think about Buddhist enlightened beings. There are many, many great beings. All those great beings, their activities, those positive activities, eliminate suffering, enhance joy, happiness. That sort of in front of us form in this particular whatever aspect. You can use the Tara, in this case, Buddhist aspect of Tara, manifest into that. So that is what here, and this is also, and many of you know, the tradition, in the tradition which comes from India, when they engage in a particular event, they always pay homage to somebody or to something. Even if they're, for example, although I haven't been to the local markets quite some time, when I was a young boy living here, go to Kushalnagar and the town to buy things. If you go before around 9:30, or because their shops open quite late, so around 9:30, then you wait in front of the shop. They will not concern about their customer. They are waiting there. The first thing when they open the door, of course, clean a little bit, they will pay homage to the Ganesh or whatever, and also they will offer incense to, where the monies are put in that cash box and like that and so forth. And that is their tradition. And that tradition is also here in the Tibetan, these great masters, when they do something small or big, they always pay some kind of homage. And there are some good reasons to that. It is not just culture or tradition. There are good reasons. So I will not go there. So now then the second verse is this. That first line is in quotation mark. Those adrift on great seas of suffering, I will save. So that is more like under the quotation mark, a powerful vow made good. To your lotus feet, compassionate goddess, I offer this bowed head. So this is talking about again to the Tara, saying you had made this amazing, important commitment or vow, saying, those adrift on great seas of suffering, I will save. And that is the promise or the vow made by this goddess, that Tara. And that Je Tsongkhapa is saying that is a very, very powerful vow, powerful, sort of commitment. And that is really important too. That is very important to know. Now, I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about you people, but I'm talking about myself. That we are very casually taking vows, not very serious. And that is sometimes psychologically not very helpful. And when it becomes once very casual, second time casual, third time, eventually it becomes very casual, not very serious. For example, when we take the Bodhisattva vows, it is great. It is very, very, amazing things to do. But when we take that vows, we're taking the vows in front of those Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and if there's a teacher who's giving the vows, and also you're saying to the all living beings, saying, I'll work for your sake. And that is really talking to the, not 7 billion human beings, all living beings. And that is very, very big, sort of decision. And that's what here Je Tsongkhapa is saying, a powerful vow made good. And he paid the homage to this. And now the next one, the paragraph, or next, what's called stanza. You have fine features. You have gained this opportune opportunity. Yeah, now my English is getting worse and worse. And leisured human form, if you follow me, who speaks to help others, listen well, I have something to say. And that is, Je Tsongkhapa is talking to us, saying, this is not talking about you have fine features, it's not talking about the Tara, it is talking about to his followers, and saying you have this amazing, the freedom, opportunity, facilities to do something amazing things that we have never done as far as we know. And, you have this human form, in other words, this human body. And he was saying, that I'm going to talk to you that my intention or my motivation is something to help you. So then if you are interested in, then listen carefully, listen nicely, that I have something to say. And it is really nice. It is very nice to, very close to each other, talking to each other. So I'll stop this here today because now we are already going. And so we will talk this my next coming. So I want to say this Tara, 21 Tara prayer in Tibetan. And okay. First two verses are like an invocation, which may not be in those, if you have, the translations and same with the phonetic, it may not, those two verses may not be there. Doma Koje Shenzo so Tadang Hami Juben Shabje Bemo Ladu Pumba Gonla Junze Ma Jumen Doma Yum La Chance Onje Ma Pama Doma La Chance Chance Doma Nyuma Ba Mo Jene Geji Lodanda Jigen Sungwen Chuge She Kesar Chewa Lan Yong Chance Dongge Dawa Kangwa Dene Zigbe She Kama Tongda Soba Nam Ge Rato Chewe Rabara Chance Sengwen Chune Ge Peme Chane Nabade Jiba Tundu Kadu She Wa Soba Samden Chuni Chance Tijin Shebe To Tae Nabare Jawa Che Malu Baro Jimba To Jawe Siki Shin Chance To Da Rang Ye Ge Dang Chokan Namba Kang Chikden Dombo Shabin and Luba Meba Goba Chance Gajin Mela Sang Nongla Naso Wangju Che Ma Chombo Rana Jizana Nujun So Ye Dune Ma Chance Teje Chadang Paro Chubo Ejan Yung Shabin Nabar Chubo Shindoba Chance Dure Jiba Chen Bo Dugi Bao Number Chuge Shen Chunye Den Dao Tamje Madus Chance Gunjo Sunzen Chaje Seme Toga Number Malu Choge Kulu Rangi Ye Sonum Chu Ma Chance Rapto Pawaji Ujin Reji Tenwa Bell Ma Shivara Che Tuda Ra Chance Sashi Jong So Tamje Guba Chunye Yewa Yige Hong Ge Pongba Tamje Chance Dawe Dongbo Jamba Tamje Shindo Barama Rebe Chune Tabare Shindo Chance Gebe Tamame Barwe Chungwe Une Ma Ejan Yungum Kune Ko Jaye Kune Number Chance Sashi Mola Cha Tegi Nijing Jagi Chunye Jenze Yige Hong Ge Rimba Tumbo Chance Dema Kema Nyangen Deshin Juni Soa Omda Yamba Diwa Jumbo Jumbo Ma Chance Kune Koro Dai Number Game Yige Jubu Diwa Ole Joma Ma Chance Duration Hongi Number 7 Ramanda Jiden Sumna Yoani Ma Chanza Hai Eta Tajen Chanana Tarani Pidi Duna Malu Panes Ma Chanza Hai from the Hadamiam Jiden Punya Koja Tawaji Zoda Melamamba Selma Chanza Nima Tawaji Jinye Pola Selma Harani Tudara Shindo Taburi Nesema Chanza Tini Shivedodayanda Dema Dudarona Jumbaturi Rachomi Savanga Jitavante Chanze Wane Oh yeah. So that is praise to 21 Taras, and it is the people who know either in English or people. I remember this very clearly. In Switzerland, which I used to go in Bern, and also in Austria, up in the mountain. I used to go to have a retreat with a group of people, and they have a very good chanting in German. Somehow, German language has some kind of nice rhythm to chant. Somehow English hasn't got that very much. I don't know why. Anyway, so so you can chant, read, or in your own language, have a more understanding or meaning, or read in Tibetan, whichever. It is quite nice occasionally to do that. Okay, so I will leave this today, and I will see you in 2 days' time, and keep well, safe, and be happy, regardless of whatever is happening. There are always some form of disasters. What we need to do, we need to learn to live, with those in situations happily, meaningfully, and creatively. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.